What's going on, guys? It's Nick, DMG. It's the end of the day. Strung up a few heads today, and these two at the bottom. And I just wanted to show you what they look like, as well as answer a few questions that I've been getting on Instagram. Pretty popular. And but I'll show you the sticks first. One was a Superpower, one was a Proton U. I thought it was going to be a Stallion, as it said in the text that I got. But when I first got it, I actually thought it was a Stallion. It kind of looked like one, but I saw that it was a Proton U, and I said, oh, well, whatever. That was actually strung to be a defensive pocket, as you can see, and this one's going to be an offensive pocket, so I'm just going to show you the two differences really quick. If anybody knows anything about Proton U's, they slip and slide off a shaft, so you might want to put some tape on them after you put a screw hole through, because they're just going to wobble right off. But this is what I came up with. It's a very cool defensive pocket. It has just a regular triangle top string, like I always do. Put a nylon at the top to prevent some lip, 2 straights, and he asked for a U. So that's what I got. It actually has a pretty cool channel on it, surprisingly for a defensive stick. So it's kind of like the long shot. And I'll give you some more views of it. I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of funny how I skipped that one hole in the middle. Now, people have been telling me all day long about patterns. They say, Nick, DMG, can I get the pattern on that head? Can I get the pattern on that head? And yeah, man, I don't mind giving them out. I mean, why not? But the thing is I'd like to get this across to people is that myself personally, and a lot of other stringers, when they string heads, we don't use specific patterns when we go to string, especially me. If I pick up a stick, especially like this one for the first time, obviously I know I'm going to do the top string at the first hole or the second hole, wherever it lines up, like my normal sticks. I look for the first things I look for on a stick first is how big the top string holes are. That determines if I can put a double over triangle top or a single over. And then once I got that done, I lock in my piece of sidewall to the first mesh hole, and then I began to stretch. And when I say stretch, I stretch pretty hard because these sidewall holes are knotted down very, very far past to where they line up on the sidewall. So when I say knot in a sidewall pattern, I'm not saying that you should knot them all to the corresponding sidewall hole. Well, the 3 top things that I look for in a stick, and I'm going to tell you this right now, this is going to be very important for you guys with string sticks, is that the first thing you're going to be looking for is the channel. Then you're going to be looking for, obviously, if you want a mid pocket, high pocket, low pocket, where you're going to put the pocket. And then third is the bottom string. And what I mean by the bottom string is that how it corresponds to the last knot that you did to make sure it's even and that it looks good throughout the head. It's consistent. And how I go about doing that is I'll explain it. Well, you've seen this head, so I'll just switch over to the Superpower now and explain that first. Well, before I do that, I'll just tell you that I did a royal triangle top, double over, one royal blue nylon. He wanted 2 straights and 2 U's, which actually looks pretty cool. Throws very nice. Bottom string looks very nice. Corresponds evenly, all straight across. And just give you a few more shots of it. It's got a sweet, sweet channel to it, as you can see. And people always say that, hey, DMG, your sticks always look nice and classy, and I like to use a lot of white, and I don't know, that's just the way they come out. So for me on this Superpower, I'll just go to this side without the shooting strings in the way. And sorry about that. Is that when I start it, as always, I'm always starting on the first hole. Second hole, I lock it down, and I'm skipping these first 2 holes. I'm knotting it, so I'm stretching that thing pretty far down. Then I go to the second one, I stretch it beyond that, and I stretch it down here. And then I stretch it another one. I knot it all the way down to halfway point. Now people are going to think to themselves, oh geez, well DMG, if I did this, then I'm going to end up with a low pocket. No, that's false. Afterwards, if somebody says in the spec sheet, Nick, I want a mid-low or a mid-high, I might take out that last knot and put in a 1 SI, and that'll bring the pocket up a little bit higher, you know? But for all intents and purposes, he said he wanted a mid, so I just did a 1 SI, and I use a lot of SI knots, so it's just basically knots, stretch knots, and SIs. That's all it is. I do not use singles. I do not use doubles, triples, quadruples. Never heard of quadruple, but I will never use it. So that's how the stick looks, all white shooters. I decided to do blue all around so he can see it. Hopefully it looks good on his head. He said his school colors were white and blue, so that looks pretty cool. So I just want to get that across. And when the second part, after I said the top string is the channel, and the channel is determined to me how far I stretch down these knots. And as you can see, since I stretch that down all the way to, let's see, all the way to midpoint, what you're going to get is that if you look at it, all the way to my thumb, right down there, is flat. This is flat across. So if there were no shooters in here and just a nylon, I mean, the thing would shoot great. I've strung so many pockets that don't have shooters in them at all, and they shoot great just because they have a great channel. Sometimes the channel is too tight, but after a while of breaking in, it actually becomes really good. So with this type of head, I know you can't really see it much on this side, but you can see it very good on this side, and it's very flat coming down to here, so that the ball, when it comes out, it has a nice automatic travel route to the middle, and then it just comes right out, and then you can actually see it better this way. Get a better light shot of it. Yeah, there you go. You can see it a lot better that way. So, and then the third part, like I said, wherever you want the pocket to be. If you want it to be a straight up mid, wherever you knotted last, just do an SI, 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 SI all the way down, and knot it off. If you want it to be more of a bulgy pocket or more of a mid-high, I suggest doing a stacked SI after your last knot, and then doing SIs all the way down. It's almost like doing a double 1-1-1. I like to do SIs because the pocket doesn't shift. The ball, anybody that's playing with a new ball will know that it's very grippy, and if you have a pocket that shifts, the mesh is shifting, that it can do some serious damage to your pocket. It'll make it whip unnecessarily, and you don't need that on your sticks. So hopefully you guys understand that fact and that concept. If you have any other questions, you can always shoot me an email at dmg1at@gmail.com, and I'll be very quick to answer that stuff. So going to be sending these two back to my boy in Pittsfield, and just wanted to show you the other sticks. This is the only one that I've actually used 1s and 2s. I actually went down with the blade on this one because it didn't really have too many holes. I actually skipped one sidewall hole there by just knotting it right down, going through 1, 2, 3, and then knotting it. As long as you do it tight, it doesn't really matter. And then I did a 1 SI right there, and then I actually did a 2, and then a 1.